good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Kabir, you're literally everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Literally everywhere. So we said, come to the office at what time?
I was here like, I'd say 8 something.
But your section was at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
But that's a good trait because there's something that I learned many years ago. I refused to be late for anything. And that's one thing I know about you because you do this over and over and over again. Kabir, come to the office at 10 o'clock and you're here at 7. Kabir, come here at this time and you're here at whatever time. But it's an incredible trait to have. It's an incredible characteristic to develop. It's an incredible thing. So it means you value time. You value your own time. You value other people's time. So again, I respect that. So, part 2.
Yeah.
So I want this interview to be just open. I want to ask you questions that many people want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go right from the beginning. Everyone knows I like to talk about myself. Yeah. It is the TJ show, but I'll try my best to make it about you. So you were, when I met you, as you called yourself, the 15-year-old property entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, this guy is branding himself literally as the 15-year-old property entrepreneur.
I milked it, basically.
Yeah, but you were going to turn 16.
Yeah.
That's why I find it funny. I was like, so what's he going to do
I know.
when he turns 16? Crazy, because you then wrote a book.
Yeah.
Called the 15-year-old. And we were talking and on Instagram, and you mentioned you might have to write one, 16 and Rich as well. But again, well done on your book. These are tiny little things that I'm throwing in there so that anyone watching this, if you're 10, 11, 12, if you're 30, if you're 50, what's your favorite motto?
Age isn't an excuse.
Age isn't an excuse. And I think you epitomize that. You literally show that over and over and over that shut up, essentially, stop making excuses, and just crack on with it. So again, I'm going to rewind back to how we met. How did we meet?
It was a Boys to Men program. I think I saw it on Facebook. Yeah, probably on Facebook. It was like basically it said 14 to 17 year old. I was like, oh, this is perfect. I was basically just looking on Facebook and I was like, oh, this is perfect for me because I'm 15. Mm-hmm. So I signed up straight away. I got in contact with you, and I think that's how I first
so that was I think our second program. So for the people that don't know, we don't do it anymore. So again, it's not something you can sign up to because we've got success stories coming out of it, like people like Kabir. But it was a program that we put together for 14-year-olds to 17-year-olds, kind of to focus their attention on it's possible to get into property. Now, when I created the program, the truth is this. I genuinely and honestly didn't expect any of you guys to turn up, number one. I didn't expect anyone to become a property investor at all. It was just more to motivate you guys and say, hey, do you know what? You don't have to do it now, but at least have it in your system so that in the future you can do it. Then this crazy guy comes along and says, hey, do you know what? No, I actually want to do it. So I didn't even have a plan in place to help you become a property investor. It was just to motivate you and keep you on track. So we met there. How was the program for you?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was way better than like basically before that. I used to go to like free events, like property, just to learn stuff.
Yeah.
And compare that training to the free one. That was like just up and beyond. Like we got taught a lot of stuff.
And you guys got lunch as well.
Yeah, we got free Subway, which was the best part.
Well, that was so. Again, so anyone that knows me or comes to any of my training programs, I like to talk. I like to teach. I like to give as much value, especially when it's paid. So I'm like, guys, there's no time for breaks here. But then I remember that I've got 14-year-olds to 17-year-olds. I'm in their care. I'm looking after them. I've got to feed them. So I would have gone the whole day just teaching. Then I had to remember, just like what happens at my events, everyone starts falling asleep and I start hearing their bellies rumble. And I'm like, oh, okay, lunchtime, we've got to eat. But essentially, what happened after that thing was you said, I'm going to take this serious. So you then decided to, in fact, I want you to say what happened next because...
Yeah, so...
I remember you're 15 at this time.
Yeah, I was 15. At that time, the way I worked was that most teenagers at that time were like, all right, I'll go into school, uni, and I'll do property maybe when I turn 18. I hated school. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to continue with this. But then I was like, I'll rent to rent and like deal sourcing, whatever. It's kind of like a low entry, and I thought to myself, oh, what's the disadvantages that I have compared to an adult, which is I can't sign a contract, I can't have a company under my name, etc. And I thought, well, I think that's easily
You can overcome it.
yeah,
Yeah,
overcome
yeah.
it. But I just get my parents or maybe some JV partner. So yeah, I was like, okay, I need to
Stop. I think you've just punched a few people in the face there, because most of the issues that I get as a trainer and mentor is excuses. Hey TJ, number one, I don't have money. Hey TJ, I'm this age. And do you know what's crazy? I get older people coming to me and they say, hey TJ, I'm in my 40s, so I'm not sure I can do it. And I'm like, what the flip are you talking about? Or, hey TJ, I've got a CCJ, or I can't sign a contract and I can't do this. And again, I want to emphasize something. The way your mind works, which is incredible. Adults are still not at this level where it's you find a solution. Because I had the same issue when you were telling me you wanted to get a property. I'm like, it's not going to happen. I never said that to you directly because that's not the type of person. But in my mind, I'm like, bro, you're 16, you can't sign a contract. It's just not going to happen. You can't register a company. And guess what? You found avenues around it. So number one, you had to convince your parents that you were serious about this for your parents to support you in doing so. For some of the younger kids, and we'll go back to your story, for some of the younger kids, how did you persuade your parents to support your journey? That's if they do support your journey.
At the start, it was, I actually talked about this in the interview we did here like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
I said to my mom, I'll get good grades if you allow, because the way I had to do it was sometimes I had to like bunk school or go to school.
We're going to talk about that, yeah.
And the way school works is you need a parent to pick you up. You can't just say, I got an appointment.
Okay.
So I had to convince my mom. I was like, look, I'll try to get good grades in return. When I need to get out of school, can you help me get out of school? And that's the way. My dad, he's not really, he owns 3 businesses, so he's not really concerned. He doesn't really.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom, she went through high school, A levels, but she was brought up here, and she was like, oh, get good grades in school, blah, blah, blah. So I made a deal with her, kind of thing.
See, that's incredible, because you and I have had some conversations actually online, because I know you hate school.
Yeah.
Now, I hate school, but as a responsible old man, I can't say to someone, drop out of school, because I wouldn't. Because I believe you should stay in school and find ways to do your side project. But again, at the end of the day, it's your life, and it's you know what works for you. So I remember specifically there was a time that you had to go on a viewing.
Yeah.
Tell them about what you did, because what I want to emphasize is age is not an excuse. An excuse is an excuse, and you find a way to get around whatever you have to do. I'm not condoning, but this is what this young man did in order to get to where he is today.
So I remember I spoke to an agent, and she said she had an SA in Canary Wharf. It was a 2-bedroom. And I tried to make the viewing on the weekends, but I usually do that. I said, can I do Saturday? Sunday they closed. So I said, can I do Saturday? They said, no, we can't do that. Can you do I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. Now that, they didn't know I have school, but I didn't tell them that.
Yeah, because they don't know that you're 15 years old,
Yeah, so I said, all right, can we do like 4:30 or something? They said, that's fine. So then what I did was, I couldn't miss school because my attendance was so bad.
Already, yeah.
Yeah, and so I said to my mum, I'll go to school, but at 2 o'clock, can you tell them I got an appointment? I like braces or something. She said yes, so I went to school normal, and then at 2 o'clock my mum picked me up. I had to rush back to my house, change my school uniform into my suit, and then I went on the train to Canary Wharf, and I met up with her and I did the viewing.
That's amazing. So, now I want to show you guys something. So, Kabir is a service accommodation operator, and we'll talk about that later on. But I want to just go through the timeline because his story is incredible. And if he carries on this path or this trajectory, we're going to be seeing his name in lights. Kabir Estates or Synth Accommodation. We're just going to be learning so much about this young man. But the point is this, it's find a way rather than excuses. Interestingly, that same viewing that you went on, is that the same one you used to sell a deal to someone else as well? Cool. So I'm going to let you tell the story, but I want to kind of set the tone. So you ran out of school,
Yeah.
went home, changed into your suit, because obviously you can't wear your school
Yeah.
uniform, and the estate agents don't know that you're 15. Looking at that beard, they think he's a 51-year-old man.
Yeah.
But he turned up, presented himself in such a way that he built a relationship with an estate agent. And so let's fast track your journey now. No, you read my book, Untangling Success, right?
Oh, yeah, I did.
You read my book, Untangling Success, and you did something in that book. You,
Oh yeah.
what was that?
I posted online. Oh yeah, I remember that. I posted online.
You're crazy.
Looking back, it was like it was just
It was wild.
Yeah, it
but
was
it's
wild.
got to be wild.
yeah. Basically, I think I said if I don't source on.
So wait. So in my book, we talk about consequences,
Yeah.
right? We talk about punishing yourself essentially for not achieving what you were supposed to achieve or the goal you set yourself.
Yeah.
Then you went online. I think you took it literal, and you said, if I don't source 2 properties before January,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go bald.
Yeah.
I was secretly happy because I'm jealous of your beard. So I was hoping you shave everything off, but again, so that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you did have to shave your head, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which means you had to wear a cap every
Yeah.
single day until your hair grew back. So I'm happy for that. But going back to you going on that viewing where you said, look, I don't care what happens. I've got to find a solution. I'm desperate and eager to get into property. I've persuaded my mum. I've traded. We've got a trade-off with my mum that if I work well in school, she's going to support me where I can to go on my viewings and get my property deals. So you went to Canary Wharf. You met with one of your agents,
Yeah.
and you built a relationship with that agent.
Yeah.
That agent then started offering you and still offers you deals. And then you found 2 young ladies who wanted to get into service accommodation and they didn't know how to get these deals. So what did you do at that point? You sold the deals. So
yeah,
I've already
sold the
told the
deals.
story, didn't I? Sorry about that, yeah. Well, you sold the deals to these 2 young ladies and you got paid
Yeah.
for those deals. Again, you're still 15 at that point. Like, the story's incredible. It's the definition of tenacity. It's the definition of what an entrepreneur is. Again, guys, don't come at me. I'm not saying he should bunk school. Remember, I've told you many
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
Again, he knows where I stand on that. Don't bunk school, go to school, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, he's showing what most people should be showing, which is tenacity, which is, I know the goal I want and I'm going to go and get it. So you were able to sell a deal to someone and they paid you because you provided an essential
Yeah.
service, which is what we call deal packaging, which you learned from one of my trainings. So you sold a deal to someone, made some money from that. What did that do for you? So you're still 15. So you made over £1,000. What did that do? Had you ever made £1,000 before?
No.
Yeah?
No, I haven't.
Okay. You're thinking about it like... Yeah. So you had never made £1,000 before in one go like that.
Yeah.
What did that do for you mentally?
Well, first of all, it was kind of like, because no one's really done it at this age. So like, I couldn't look at someone and be like, okay, I know it's possible. So once I got the money in my bank, I was like, all right, I know this is possible at my age.
I'm gonna kill it.
Yeah, basically, because I couldn't look at like a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old and be like, oh, they got an essay or they sourced on a deal that's possible. Because I had no one to look at, so it was, not gonna lie, back of my head I was like, is this even possible? But then
Was TJ selling the dream? Yeah. Yeah, I get that completely.
and then when I got the 1K, I was like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I know this is possible.
This stuff
to do.
works.
Yeah.
This stuff actually works. At 15, someone is trusting me. So 2 people are trusting me in terms of the agent is trusting me because I've built an incredible relationship with this agent. And then these clients are trusting me to be able to deliver them a compliant, a legal deal that they're going to utilize and make money from. Absolutely incredible. So I know for a fact, I started making money when I was quite young. Well, not always legal, but I started making some money. But what it kept on doing to me was adding little bits of reassurance. So it builds your confidence. You're like, hold on, I didn't know this could work, but I tried and it worked. Then you're like, oh my God, it worked. let me go harder. Let me. What's this word that you guys, young kids, say? Legit. I'm probably using it in the wrong context. Something like it's legit good. Is that right? Or that's legit?
Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah. Sorry, God, I'm out of the loop. But yeah. So at this point, you're now confident, and you're saying, I could do this over and over and over again, or I can actually make money as a 15-year-old. So you came to a number of my training programs, so service accommodation training programs, where we laid out literally a whole day. I think you've been to a few of them. Laid out a whole day on how to run your service accommodation business. So now we're at a stage where you're saying, okay, cool, I'm selling deals to people, but I want my own unit. Mm-hmm. So you were about to take on something just pre-lockdown.
Yeah.
Which is so annoying, because that was, 5-6 months ago?
Yeah, it was.
You were about to take on something with an agent you had built a relationship with in Canary Wharf.
Yeah.
You had viewed it, everything was going great.
Numbers stacked
up well.
And the JV there.
And let's talk about that. I think we're just going to go through everything today. Okay, so let's talk about that. You had a joint venture partner. You're 15.
Yeah.
And people are saying, hey, I don't know what it is about you. I don't know where you've come from, but I want to work with you. Why is that?
To be honest, I don't know. I shared my the way I got my first job was basically I shared everything online from then, and then I got a call from someone, and this person, they were in HMO. They had like 17 HMOs or something like that, and they basically said to me that I know you're an SA. I know you're young, and also one other thing was that they said I know who you've been mentored by. So they trusted me because of that, and because I was sharing everything online, they trusted me, and they said that I'm happy to finance you for an SA and you can manage it.
Wow.
And just pay me like.
And you agreed on a split.
Yeah.
So it's interesting again. So to the people that make excuses that they don't have money, because I'm sorry, it's an excuse. You might not physically have money in your pocket, but you can find a solution. So people say, oh, TJ, you're so insensitive. You're always saying people should get into property, but they don't have money. Well, find the money. Here's a 15-year-old that can't legally sign a contract, and people are saying, hey, just because I see your attitude, just because I see your drive, just because I see you going on viewings and putting yourself out there, building relationships, selling deals. So these are all actions. So people are seeing the results, and they're saying, do you know what? I want to work with this person. And you had JV partners lined up to pay for deals because of that action. So that's why, as I say, I don't want to hear it from anyone, because it's an excuse. Mm-hmm. As your favorite motto, age isn't an excuse. Simple as simple. So you had that deal lined up. You were going to take it. COVID hit. Lockdown hits. You decide, do you know what? Maybe that doesn't work. Or was there a reason you decided not to go for that deal anymore?
No, so COVID hit, and it was like a dodgy time. So
cool.
I said to my agent, she said she could hold it for 3 weeks. So I said, all right, I'll come back in 3 weeks. But then by that time, a normal tenant took it. So then,
which makes sense, because technically tenants, they are our biggest competitors when working with agents. Yeah. Most agents would actually prefer a tenant, because they have the processes already in place. They don't have to change this contract. Yeah. They don't have to consider this, and so and so. So that deal, you just let it go. You had a few other ones that you looked at, and then you looked at another one in Canary Wharf, and you literally love that one. Yeah. And as of yesterday, you literally woke up, and what happened?
Basically, the agent sent us the contract and said, basically get this signed, and then the deal was secured.
Whoa. So wait, literally, you woke up, you sleep at all? Yeah, this could have been at 5 p.m. And
I woke up at like 1:40 p.m.
And you see an email saying your deal is secured.
Yeah, referencing passed. And we basically need you to sign the contract.
And you're good to go.
Yeah.
So you've actually signed your contract for your first serviced accommodation unit.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Yes, you're 16 now, but you're still 100 years ahead of the people who are still sitting on the sidelines saying, I'm not sure, maybe I'm too old, maybe I'm too young. So I get a number of people that DM me and they say, hi TJ, I'm 12 years old. And I want to get into property. And I'm like, I don't really care about your age. Stop telling me about your age now, because you say it like you want some sort of sympathy and you want some sort of super help. And most of the people that mention their age, they say it because they think it brings them some sort of favor. The reality is, whatever your age is, you've just proven it, that you've just got to want it bad enough. You've got to know what you're doing and just go for it. What would be crazy, I know that knocks you off position one, if a 12-year-old now says, hey, do you know what? I'm getting into property, and they do it. Now, of course, we've got to talk about the legalities of stuff.
Yeah.
Not every single person is going to have supportive parents. Yeah? Not every single person is going to have parents that are willing to sign contracts and essentially let their son manage the property. But you've just got to find a way. I'm not saying that 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever, should get into property. That's not even the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to shine some light on this guy here who's doing absolutely incredible things because he believed in himself. So I'm super excited. I can't wait for you to run this. I can't wait for you to start making money. I can't wait for you to inspire so many other people. But then what's the next goal then?
I guess grow the SA business. I don't just want one unit or multiple. I guess stick to that while and grow that, and then
learn the lessons, build your confidence, scale the business, and maybe 10, 15, 20. So what are we now? We're coming up to the end of the year, last quarter of the year. So let's say by July next year, how many units would you ideally like to have?
Me, I would ideally at the end of next year want like probably in the 12, 13 kind of.
Oh.
I mean,
doable, don't get me wrong.
Doable,
well, number one, I don't think anyone watching this is going to now say, I don't think it's doable, just based on your track record now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So no one's going to be able to say, well, do you know what? He's not going to make it. And even if you don't make it, even if you land on 6, even if you land on 7, you're still miles ahead of every single person. One of the reasons why I get excited about working with younger people is because I know if I had the head start, if I had started and someone was teaching me this stuff at such a young age, imagine where I would be now. There are going to be some people that say, hey, well, 12 is optimistic or 12 is crazy. But I think you've just proven it that it's typically or usually the crazy people that tend to win. And you've shown it.
Yeah, because when I was starting out, a lot of people said, no, it's not possible at 15, at 16.
So people actually said that to you?
Yeah, because I used to go around like asking older people for advice, but they knew what they're doing.
Well, no, they pretend they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and basically most of them said, you have to wait until you're 18, you have to wait until you're 18. Wow. And I didn't listen to that, but I'm like, nah.
I can find a way.
Yeah, I can find a way and do it.
Well done. Because, do you know what, one thing I'm super cautious about, especially when I'm speaking to young, talented people, is trying to squash their dreams. That's not my place. It's not my place. And I'm also a big believer in young people making mistakes, because you still live at your mum's house, right? Cool. The girls, he's still at his mum's house, okay? But the point is this. The worst thing that could happen is you fail, but you still have a bed to sleep on.
Yeah.
And you wake up, you cry, you shed a few tears, and you get back on and you do it again, because you don't have all the responsibilities in the world. This is the best time to actually make your mistakes. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's so disheartening. And I've seen a few people on your Facebook as well saying things like, just wait till later. Oh, do you know what? It's not possible. Then you get the clowns and the haters. Yeah, there are clowns, and you've got haters, people who jump on your YouTube and chat rubbish, people who come on your Facebook and chat rubbish, people who post in their little groups and chat rubbish, because the reality is it's a projection on their insecurities and their inability to actually do what they wish they could do.
Yeah.
So again, I commend you, because at 15 or 16 to have haters already, you're already making it. But for people to criticize and say, I remember there was an incident where I think you posted that you bunked school and you you bunk score and you went on a viewing or something. And I read a thread somewhere where people were like, that can't be true. Oh, how does a 15-year-old or 16-year-old do this? And how will they do this? How do they sign a contract? Oh, it's not possible. If he signs a deal while he's 16, I'll eat my hat. Well, there's a few hats I can buy you to eat right now. You know, you get so many people who project their crap and their insecurities and their nonsense on people. And again, the fact that at this age, you're able to kind of just brush it off and say, okay, cool. I'm going to show you clowns that it's actually possible. This is the evidence of possible, because realistically, everyone was chatting rubbish before. And now, guess what? You've picked up your service accommodation unit and you're picking up the keys a week from now.
Yeah.
So haters, how about shut up and maybe build your confidence so that you can also achieve this. Or if you've got kids, maybe spend more time developing them to have the same level of confidence that this guy has, so that your kids can grow up to be good, reasonable human beings. That's to the haters. So again, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand hate. I don't know why people do it. I genuinely think most of them are trolls and they're bored of their lives, and they're haters essentially, because I've never found anyone that's doing better than anyone else talking bad about anyone else online. Doesn't make sense to me. Yeah? Any words to your haters?
Well, I proved you guys wrong.
Oh, exactly. Proved you wrong. Proved you absolutely wrong. So are we expecting a 16 and Rich book?
Oh yeah, I am working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is in the works.
Good,
right now.
good. And again, you're going to have a lot more experience to put into the book now.
Yeah.
And I think that book, if you write it now, I think that book could change a lot of young people's lives and a lot of adults' lives, because it's going to inspire the heck out of people. Because guess what, guys? Age isn't an excuse. So we were talking some time ago on Facebook, and you sent me a message which kind of confused me a bit. Because again, in my head, I'm like, this guy's 15. And you sent me a message, you said, TJ, I know you put on events and you teach people property and you have an audience and you put on these events kind of on a weekly basis. Can I come and speak at your events? And I was like, in my head, I was going to say no. Because I was thinking, well, is this a setup? Does he want to come to my events and just mess up my events? Like, why would a 15-year-old want to stand in front of a crowd and talk? Most people are running away from public speaking. In fact, most adults. And I think public speaking is the second biggest fear in the world. So that means maybe 4 billion people or maybe 5 billion people out of 7 billion people fear public speaking. I don't know if that's true stats, but it doesn't matter anyway. But you said, I want to do it. So I said, look, if this guy's brave enough to ask me, do you know what? I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to put him up on my stage. And you came, killed it, came again, killed it, came again, killed it, and killed it, and killed it. Why did you want to become a public speaker?
Yeah, so it was a weird thing, because I was like, in my head I was like, I'm 15, I need to get myself out there more people know me, because the disadvantages I have, like at that time, no money, no finance, I needed JV partners or stuff like that, and I didn't really like publicly speaking, so I was like, might as well just break that fear, I guess.
It's incredible. It's incredible. This is the reason why you and I joke around sometimes. I don't believe this guy's 15. Like, I just don't believe it, because this is an adult's head in terms of, I have a fear of something, or I'm not really good at something, so I'm going to put myself out there to overcome it. Whereas most adults, it's the other way around. I'm not good at something, so I run away from it. So now you're speaking on different stages. People are booking you to come and speak at events. What was that big one?
It was some London
something, and there were going to be how many people roughly there?
200-ish.
So 200 people at an event. So he's getting booked to speak at events with 200 people in front of big-time property companies and investors. Some of these businesses were billion-pound businesses.
Yeah, I remember. I looked on the website, and it was like, they had the panel of speakers, and there was like, speaker here, Holiday Inn, speaker here,
Travelodge,
and then you see me and my company are set up for £30 a week.
Yeah, so do you know what's really interesting? I remember that. So yeah, you got the chance to get booked to speak in front of these big, massive people, only because you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Only because you made a decision and you said, look, I want to put myself out there and I want to start public speaking, and you did. That led to something else. You then said, you know what, I want to host my own events.
Oh, yeah.
And then you hosted your own events, and it was a success. People came, you gave an incredible presentation in front of every single person, and I know you're going to go back into it and do bigger and better ones, obviously once we come out of lockdown as well. So guys, as I said, I'm super impressed with your attitude. I'm super impressed with where I think you're going to go. But again, the reality is, be ready for some super growth, be ready for some haters, be ready for some failures, but also be ready to bounce back, because that's so important. So guys, you can connect with Kabir on Facebook and Instagram. So what's your Instagram handle? Or should I just put it in the...
yeah, you just put it in.
Yeah, I can just put... See guys, I don't know this stuff yet. So I just put a link so you can connect with him. If you've got young kids, that you just want them to be inspired or motivated, then you can connect with Kabir. If you're an adult that's looking to be inspired and motivated, then connect with him as well, because this guy is setting the pace for the new level of property entrepreneurs, and I'm extremely proud to have played a part in his journey. And again, nothing to do with me, this is simply him. So again, I'm not trying to take any credit here, because you're going to get the haters chatting rubbish anyway. But guys, thank you so much. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Share this with friends and family. I look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Have a fantastic day. Bye from Kabir.
Bye.